Judge, good afternoon. I have the last case on the court's docket. It's state number 45, State versus Miguel Ángel Vera de Jesus.
All right. I have here an AIP violation back in February, not home during a field visit. We did give a verbal admonishment back about a year ago. Mobile device deactivated since 12/16 due to lack of payment. Motion to suppress was denied on December 7th of 2021. And I guess at this point, I'll take your announcement, Andre.
Yes, Judge. I just want to let the court know I did reach out to Mr. Vera de Jesus on Monday. His wife answered and said she would give the message to Mr. Vera de Jesus. To date, he has not called me back or reached out to me. I did attempt to call him yesterday. At that point, the phone went to voicemail, so I have not had any communication with Mr. Vera.
All right. And the AIP violation, Victoria, this was, I guess, about a month and a half ago. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge, on February 3rd is what I'm showing.
February 3rd. Okay. And we kind of pushed it to today. Was this going to be a plea and then you just haven't had any contact with him, Andre?
Correct, Judge. We had came to an agreement with the state, subject to the court's approval. We were going to sign him up. But like I said, Judge, just lost communication with Mr. Vera.
That being the case, what says the state? Y'all are on mute.
Sorry, Your Honor. State requested a judgment on side be granted a KPS issued, no bonds forfeited for this no-show defendant.
Judgment nice will be granted. KPS issued, bond forfeited to the state for the arrest of Miguel Vera de Jesus. Andre, if you make contact with him, bring him in.
You got it, Judge.
Can we just confirm there is a Miguel Angel's iPhone, just to confirm that it's not him?
Well, that might be him, Judge.
All right, Miguel Angel's iPhone.
No, sir, it's not. It's Jonathan Castillo, sir.
You're Jonathan Castillo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, Andre, well then, if you make contact with him, let us know.
Okay, Judge. Thank you. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Flores, you have an announcement other than a plea.
Yes, Your Honor, I have number 17 on your docket. Luis Gabriel Medrano, he continues to be detained in the Midland County Detention Center on a felony DWI and some stuff out of Aransas County and then the stuff out of this county.
What was your client's name one more time?
Yes, Luis Gabriel Medrano. Number 37. I read 17, 37 on your docket.
Yeah, 36 and 37, CR 21-10-801H and CR 21-10-800H.
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize, I misread that.
No worries. Okay, so he is located outside of the county and locked up. Is that, did I hear you correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Midland County Detention Center. He got arrested out there on DWI. They charged him with the felony because it would be his third and a resisting arrest. There is something on he failed to appear in Aransas County for something. So there's that detention for him as well, along with the stuff out of this county.
Okay.
I checked on him right after lunch and he's still there. I left a message a couple of days ago with his appointed attorney up there and have not received a call back. So
Vito, what says the state?
Mr. Flores, if you can provide us with something showing his charges up there and the fact that he's detained, we can work something out. I was going to dismiss one of these cases anyway with a plea. If he's going to be detained on a felony DWI third, then we may just be able to dismiss both cases.
well, I can give you the.
Could you email it to me so I can have?
Yeah, I'll email you the site where you can look them up on there. They have the list of detainees online, and you can see the charges and where they're from. He had signed the plea papers.
That's
and
right.
tried to do the plea, but because he's out there in Yahoo country in West Texas, he was having trouble with the connection, and the court reset the plea to give him a chance to get somewhere where he could make a connection. In the interim, he got arrested on these new allegations, and life's what it is. But I'll email you the link or the website, then you can look up current detainees, and it's in alphabetical order and sets out the charges and everything else.
All right, the question that I have, I guess, at this point is, should we take out an eyesight so that whenever he's done, he's brought into Hidalgo County, or should we just give it a reset date, and then whenever he's done, we hope that he reaches out to Mr. Flores?
His wife reaches out to me, Your Honor, but she has not been in contact with him.
Your Honor, I think it continues to be appropriate considering we may dispose this before then.
All right, then let me go ahead and just give it a reset date, and we can go ahead and give it a reset date for, let's look at April 14th and see where we're at on April 14th in the afternoon. April 14th, 2 p.m.
Very well, Your Honor. That's all I have. May I be excused, sir?
You're excused. Thank you. All right, Ms. Montes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm here on number 18 and 19 on the court's docket, Janie Ashley Talamantes.
All right, that's CR 21040888H, CR 21055331H, Janie Ashley Talamantes. Ms. Montes?
Judge, I have been in contact with Monica Rosales of Tropical, Texas. They're actually evaluating her right now for possible placement at the Rio Grande State Center. So hopefully she'll be transported within the next 7 days, Judge.
Okay. Were we able to take care of the other kind of sub issues with respect to concerns about, her, I know she had some stimulus checks that were coming in. Were we able to take care of that for you?
Yes, Judge, just right now that got taken care of.
Perfect.
So that's already been taken care of.
Okay.
For the record, I do have her mother here present with me, just so that way she's on the same page as we are regarding her health, Judge.
Perfect. Okay, so I guess at this point, Ms. Montes, we unfortunately, I guess, need more time.
Yes, Judge. I don't know if the court wants, they're telling me that they're hoping that she should get placed within the week. I don't know if we want to, if I should contact the court with a request for a date if anything goes wrong. So that way she doesn't slip through the cracks, Judge.
I mean, I can give her the 31st, which is a week, and see where we're at, or I can do the following week if you want to go into the early part of April.
Let's do the 31st, Judge.
Okay. 3/31, which is next Thursday at 2 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
You're excused. Thank you for your patience. All right, I'm sorry, Santos, what do you have?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. I do have a plea scheduled before the court on Heraclio Garcia, CR 1909876H.
All right, Heraclio Garcia, that's going to be a plea?
It is.
All
He
right.
signed up already. It's a plea to the court, Judge.
All right, let me just get one more announcement from Mr. Kennedy, who may have an announcement other than a plea, and then I'll take announcements from lawyers who are ready to have their clients plead. Kennedy, who do you have?
All right.
Judge, I have Mr. Alexander Aleman. I share him with Mr. Rogers, and I think he's on 27 and 28. He may have a couple more.
Yes, Alexander Aleman, 27, 28, 29, and 30. All right, and your announcement, Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Rogers.
I haven't seen Mr. Rogers or talked to him recently. We intend to plead him. We're working it together. I've seen a little more time, Judge, if I could.
Mr. Rogers, would you be in agreement with that?
Yes, Your Honor. No, that's what we've been trying to do from the very beginning. It's just been a little logistically hard to get there.
Yeah, no, Judge, is Jose still in this court, or did he get transferred to another court?
No, he's in felony now.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I was trying to work it with him. So we'll reach out to Vito or to Yuri here.
Perfect. Okay, so I can give you, how much time do you think you need? 2 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks, Judge, I think.
2 or 3 weeks. Okay, that would put us on or about the 7th of April.
Okay.
Okay.
That works.
April 7th, 2022 at 2 o'clock.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, you guys continue working towards seeing if we can resolve it on that day.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day to your staff.
You too.
Thanks.
All right, any other announcements from any attorneys other than a plea? Right now I have Santos with Heraclio Garcia. Mr. Salinas, do you have an announcement other than a plea or a plea?
Your Honor, I have an arraignment.
All right, what number?
I think it's number 6, Pedro Absael Martinez. He's a jail case.
6. Pedro Asael Martinez, if I can have him brought forward.
Yes, Your Honor, he's here. He's a Spanish speaker, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, wanting the services of an interpreter.
All right, Mr. Pedro Martinez, can I have you raise your right hand?
Pedro Martínez, la alta mano derecha.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Juro que testimonio que ver esta tarde va a ser la verdad y solamente la verdad. ¿Sí o no?
Entiendo. Están hablando.
Juro que testimonio que ver esta tarde va a ser la verdad y solamente la verdad, señor.
Así es.
Yes.
All right, is your true and correct name Pedro Asbael Martinez?
Es el nombre correcto y verdadero, Pedro Absael Martínez.
That's correcto.
That's correct.
Mr. Martinez, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated. That is a Class B misdemeanor. I need to advise you that a Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment you could receive for a Class B misdemeanor?
Señor Martínez, usted se encuentra ante la corte porque eres acusado de una ofensa de manejar intoxicado que se considera un delito menor clase B. Y tengo que avisarte que con esta ofensa lo máximo de castigo que usted puede recibir es hasta 6 meses de cárcel del condado, una multa de $2,000 o las dos cosas ya sido encontrado culpable. ¿Sí entiendes lo máximo de castigo que puede recibir?
Sí.
Yes.
Has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
¿Alguna corte alguna vez te ha declarado mentalmente incompetente o que diga que está loco?
No.
No.
All right, Mr. Salinas, do you find your client to be mentally competent, able to assist?
He is competent, Your Honor.
Court's going to go ahead and make a finding that Pedro Martinez is mentally competent. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty for you at this time. I'm going to reset this case for 2 weeks, April 7th, 2022 at 2 o'clock. Now, if you need a quicker date, Mr. Salinas, please let us know. We can bring him in as early as Tuesday.
Yes, Your Honor. We're working on the plea paperwork. He is undocumented and has an ICE hold. So.
Okay. If you need him next week, I can definitely accommodate you next week as well. But for
Okay,
now,
thank you, Your
I'll give
Honor.
you time. I'll give you to the 7th. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes. Carlos, will you let him know?
Señor Martínez, vamos a regresar el 7 de abril a las 2 de la tarde. Para entonces, si llena el papeleo que se necesita para terminar este caso, entonces lo traemos antes de esa fecha. Por mientras va a ser el 7 de abril a las 2 de la tarde.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Salinas?
That'll be it. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right. Let me see. I have Carlos Galvan. Carlos, you have a plea?
I do, Your Honor. Number 44 on your docket. It's a PTD placement.
All right, 44. PTD
And
placement.
she is present.
Perfect. PTD placement, present. Where is she? Jacqueline Valdivia, right?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Valdivia,
Yeah.
can I see if your microphone works? You just unmute yourself real quick.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you. It does work. Thank you so much. Hang tight. I'll be right with you. All right. Ms. Dietz, who do you have?
Good afternoon, Judge. I have number 3 on the court's docket. It's a jail case, Juan Carlos de Hoyos.
All right. Juan Carlos de Hoyos. Is that going to be a plea as well?
It is a plea, Judge.
All right. Juan Carlos de Hoyos.
Ms. Deeds, have you returned the paperwork? I don't think I've received it yet.
Yes, I think you got back to me, Vito, and I believe it's been e-filed already.
I looked for it right now. I didn't see it. Email, I'm sorry, Desiree.
It's okay.
Let me check. I do see that. Okay, I wasn't showing on Odyssey, but I apologize.
It's okay.
No problem. We have Juan Carlos de Hoyos. Does Mr. Juan Carlos de Hoyos speak English?
He does, Judge.
Okay, perfect. All right, let me just hang tight, Sheriff. I'm going to call a couple more cases just to get a couple more names. We'll start with, we'll continue with Miss Alia Vasquez. Miss Vasquez, who do you have?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I represent Miss Ofelia Bautista. She's present on the screen as Galaxy 832 5G, but she is present in a teal shirt, Your Honor. Present and ready for a plea.
Ofelia Bautista. Okay, I think she was scheduled for this morning, but we brought her this afternoon, not a problem. Let me just make sure Miss Bautista's audio works. Miss Bautista, can you unmute yourself? Right,
Judge Maldonado, I didn't hear you. What was the question?
no, I just wanted to make sure that your audio worked.
Yes, now it is.
Perfect. In just a minute, I'm going to be calling your name. So be listening for your name, and I will, when I call your name, you can go ahead and answer. Just hang tight for now.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Right. Ms. Evans, who do you have?
Judge, I have number 5 on the docket.
Abraham Fuentes.
Yes, Judge, the victim testimony on the record, Judge.
Is that all it is? It's not a plea, it's just victim testimony?
It should be dismissal after the testimony, Judge.
And who is the victim?
She is signed in under.
Rachel Zerato, Your Honor.
Rachel.
She is in jail.
Rachel Zerato's in jail?
No, my client is in jail.
Oh, your client is in jail. Okay. We have Rachel Zerato. Let me go ahead and take that testimony real quick. Rachel Zerato, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Can I have you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Mr. Travada, Mr. Heller, you all may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Zerato, what is your relationship with the defendant?
He's my husband.
How long have you been together?
14 years?
And you all do you have children together?
Yes, sir.
And do you live in the same house currently?
Yes, sir. Well, right now he's in jail.
Right. Okay. And he's going to be sent to TDCJ. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you will not live in the same house anymore.
No.
Okay. Can you tell me briefly what happened on the date of the incident?
It was night. He went outside and coming back inside, he was like somebody else.
Okay. There's an altercation that took place.
I'm sorry?
And there's an altercation that took place between you two.
No.
I mean, there was a slight physical altercation.
I'm sorry?
There was a slight physical altercation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a history of violence in your relationship?
No, sir.
Are you scared of the defendant?
No.
Are you concerned about any future violent acts on behalf of the defendant?
No.
And you wish to drop the charges against the defendant?
I'm sorry?
And you wish to drop the charges against the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. And are you dropping these charges because someone has threatened you?
No, sir.
Are you dropping these charges because someone has promised you something in exchange for dropping these charges?
No, sir.
Okay, and you do understand that by dropping these charges, the case cannot be reopened in the future?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, that's all the testimony that we need at this time.
All right, Ms. Evans, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, based on the testimony, are we ready to make an announcement? Is the state ready to make an announcement, or?
That's correct, Your Honor. This the defendant will be going to TDCJ in a separate case. Because the victim testimony is provided, because there's no history between the two of them, the state will move to dismiss this case.
The request of the District Attorney's Office, the case against Abraham Fuentes is hereby dismissed. Good luck to you, Mr. Fuentes. And Ms. Zerato, you are excused. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. Maybe excused as well.
You're excused. Okay. Mr. Halili, are you there? And are you ready to make an announcement on your case?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Excuse me. Here are number 42 and 43 in the court's docket for plea, Your Honor.
All right, 42 and 43. All right, that's Miriam Cedillo.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Cedillo is present via video.
Are we proceeding on both cases?
It'll be a plea to number 42 and dismissal on number 43.
Perfect. Right. Cedillo, can I just check your microphone to make sure that your microphone is working? If you can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. It is working. Thank you. All right, who am I missing? Ms. Canales, are you there? I'm only.
Yes, Your Honor. It's Juan Alvarez.
Okay,
Yes.
Ms. Alvarez, what case do you have? And you have an
I have Jonathan Castillo. It's a plea this afternoon, subject to your approval, Your Honor.
All right, number 31 through 34, Jonathan Castillo. Are we proceeding on a plea on all of them?
That is correct, Your
Mr. Alvarez, I did not receive paperwork on one of the charges, and we didn't have it on the recommendation either. I'm not sure if you spoke to the previous prosecutor about it or not. Unfortunately, I don't have information on it.
Okay. What information were you lacking?
It's the discharge of firearm. CR 21-01964-H. I don't even know if you got a recommendation on it, to be honest with you. Maybe our office is fault.
Yeah, we would have, because he has a motion to revoke out of the 332nd, and we were instructed he had to take care of these misdemeanors before they could dismiss or continue him on probation in the 332nd.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, so how are we going to proceed on these cases? I just need to know so that I can know which one to arraign him on, if I'm going to arraign him on all of them or just some of them.
He's going to plea for sure, Your Honor. It's a motion to revoke plea on the possession of marijuana. He's going to plea on the driving while intoxicated and the resisting arrest. There may have been some miscommunication on the other charge, but as of right now, I'm probably going to end up moving to dismiss so we can take care of all the cases today.
Okay, so
that'd be great. This is a firearm.
That's correct. Okay, so that will be dismissed. All right. And then we're going to plea on, you said the POM is a motion to revoke, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, motion to revoke. That admonishments will be different. And then plead guilty to the DWI and the resisting arrest, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Who am I missing?
Is the court going to take it up now, or is it going to call it in the future? Howard, I'm ready whenever the court's ready.
No, we're going to do it right now. Is your client here, Jonathan Castillo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Should be on.
Yep. Under Miguel's iPhone. Jonathan, be ready to answer the questions as soon as your name is called, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have Mr. Sanchez and Ms. Richardson. Can you all go to the back into the jury room and make an announcement on our video camera that we have over there? Let me just get an announcement from Mr. Sanchez and Ms. Richardson, who are present here in the courtroom. 25 and 26. We'll start with Mr. Sanchez. We'll start with you. 25 and 26. All right, Mr. Sanchez, you're on mute there, but if you can unmute yourself, this is CR 1805973H as well as CR 1805974H, Joshua Davila Villarreal.
Your Honor, good afternoon. Sergio Sanchez for Mr. Villarreal. Judge, there's a felony that's pending. It was set yesterday. That's in the 92nd. It's a possession of a controlled substance. The issue there is the co-defendants pled to a lesser offense of a second degree rather than the first that they were all indicted for, which opens up the possibility of 2 years of prison for him rather than the 5 that the state was recommending. We got rescheduled to April the 11th out of the 92nd, and Mr. Almaguer and the court and I are going to discuss all this. The chances are good that Mr. Villarreal is going to get 2 years of prison on the lesser. I'm just informing the court of what's going on. It's not for purpose of delay, but it's very possible that these misdemeanors will be considered on the prison recommendation of the felony, subject to your approval. And I'm asking for a setting of either the 11th or sometime shortly after. I expect this to be completed by then.
I can give you April the 12th or the 14th, whatever day works better for you.
The 12th is fine, Judge. It's very possible that if the paperwork is submitted, we may not have to appear unless you would like us to.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was just advised that I'm going to be attending a drug court conference on the 12th. Let me set it up for the 14th, and if it can get resolved on its own, then that'd be great.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
And thank you very much, Your Honor.
No problem. So that'll be the 14th at 2 o'clock. And again, if it gets resolved, just let us know.
Thank you, Judge.
Perfect. All right, Ms. Richardson.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. What case do you have?
Judge, I have Jose Perez. It was set for an in-person plea this afternoon. It is, it's 21-01-989 and 21-00969.
Nicolas Olvera? Because I have you at down on number 7. It's,
Oh, Judge, I'm sorry. Oh, that's my other case, yes.
okay, so let's start off with 39 and 40. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
39 and 40, Jose Antonio Galvan Perez, CR 21009669H, as well as CR 21019889H.
Yes, good afternoon, Judge Reggie Richardson for the defendant. Your Honor, I'm here in person. This was set up for a plea before Your Honor. I did receive the plea documents. This was originally set, I believe, on Tuesday, possibly Monday of this week. We had some issues with getting the paperwork. I did talk to my client. He had indicated that he would be here this afternoon. He had to have encountered some kind of issue that he is not here that I've seen so far, Judge. We have this case worked out. My client is aware of the resolution that's to come before Your Honor for approval. I'm respectfully requesting a short reset to get this straightened out, Judge.
I can give you next Thursday if that day works.
That's fine.
All right, that's 3/31/2022 at 2 o'clock
Yes, Your Honor.
on both cases. And I'll grant you the motion for continuance. That way, if he's not here, we'll take out a NISI at that time. But for now, no NISI will be taken.
Yes, Judge, I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you next Tuesday. Thursday, I'm sorry, next Thursday.
Yes, Judge. And will the court be calling Nicholas Olvera?
Yes, I'm going to call it right now.
Yes, Judge.
All right, that's going back to number 7, CR 22012889H, Nicolas Olvera.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mr. Olvera has CR 025820A, which is a motion to adjudicate. This case is the primary basis. We had court yesterday before the 92nd. I was asked to confer with the state with regard to the case before you to see what the felony prosecutor would be inclined to offer on his motion to adjudicate, and if the court would consider in that case some kind of option of leaving him on supervision. So I just need a little more time on this case.
Sorry, give me 1 second. The felony is set for Monday, Reggie?
No, the felony was heard, I believe, yesterday.
But it got reset for Monday is what the computer is showing.
Oh, it might have, Judge.
Can I give you Tuesday?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so that Tuesday would be the 29th? Yes. All right. Are you okay with that?
Yes, Judge.
All right, reset for the 29th at 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
That's all I have, Judge. May I be excused?
you're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jacob, do you have any announcements on any case? Number 4. Is that going to be a plea? Oh. Okay, do me a favor. Can you go back into the thing? That way we can put it and your client can hear you back in the number 4. All right, this is CR 1813-362H, Ivan Espinosa, who is in custody. Ivan Espinosa in custody. He has an ICE hold, Mr. Salinas. And I don't know if you've had an opportunity to visit with Mr. Ivan Espinosa.
Your Honor, I have not personally met with Mr. Espinosa, but I can do so immediately. Given the fact that he is in custody, I would like to move quickly. I was just assigned to this court just a few days ago, so certainly presuming that my client wants to get finality to his case, yeah, I mean, I'll see him today if necessary.
All right, let me go ahead and set him up for the 27th. No, 29th, the 29th, which is Tuesday.
Beautiful, Judge. Thank you.
3/29 at 2 o'clock.
Yes, and Your Honor, if I may, just for the state, if they wouldn't mind, when convenient, forwarding me over the plea documents so I can explain those documents to the defendant when I go to visit him.
Are you planning on just a straight probation plea, or are you gonna ask for an open plea in the court?
I was gonna ask my client to see if he's even in agreement with your all's recommendation. And if he is, then yes, absolutely, we could settle this by agreement. But if not, I'll explain to him what the open plea is. And if he wants to roll the dice and have the judge determine his punishment, and but I won't know that until, because I don't even know what the recommendation is, to be honest.
Yeah, guys, if y'all can send that to Mr. Salinas after docket today, and that way he can quite possibly go visit him tomorrow, the latest on Monday, and we can get that paperwork. If it can get done, we'll get it done by Tuesday.
Sure.
Okay. I'll move quickly.
Awesome. Anything else, Jacob? Do you have anything else?
I don't think so, Judge. Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. That'll bring us now to our pleas. Let me make sure that I call everybody so that we can have those that need to get called up and put in order. I'm going to start off my docket by calling Juan Carlos de Hoyos. Juan Carlos de Hoyos will be the first one to be called. If I can have him, please come forward. Juan Carlos de Hoyos, followed by Ofelia Bautista. Ms. Bautista will be the second one to answer all of my questions. Ms. Bautista, I had to put you on mute because I was getting too much feedback, but just be ready to unmute yourself. Ofelia Bautista, you'll be the second to answer all of my questions. Now, Ms. Bautista is represented by Ms. Dietz, is that correct? I'm sorry. Who?
No, Your Honor. Alia Vasquez for Ofelia Bautista.
Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Vasquez, just so I can know. All right. The next to answer questions for me is going to be Jonathan Castillo. Mr. Castillo, you'll be the next one to answer the questions. Jonathan Castillo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Followed by Heraclio Benito Garcia. Mr. Heraclio Benito Garcia will be the next one to answer my questions. Followed by Miriam Cedillo. You'll be the next one to answer my questions.
And Your Honor, if I may interrupt, my client would be needing the services of an interpreter.
Miriam?
Yes.
Okay, so Miriam is a Spanish speaker. One second. All right. Carlos, will you let Ms. Miriam Cedillo know that when her name is called, she'll need to unmute herself?
Me Cedillo, cuando le llame su nombre, enciende el micrófono para que conteste y luego lo vuelve a apagar.
Okay. Jacqueline Valdivia will be the next one to answer my question. Jacqueline Valdivia. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. You will be the last one to answer all of my questions, Ms. Valdivia. So listen carefully. You will be the last one to answer my questions.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, with respect to Mr. Jonathan Castillo, Mr. Castillo, some of your cases, and where is Mr. Castillo?
Right here, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Castillo, some of your questions, you have a motion to revoke. They may differ, so just listen carefully. I'll walk you through the process, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect, thank you. I just want to make sure I'm only going to call these pleas one time. I want to make sure I got everyone. I didn't miss anyone. If I didn't miss anyone, if I can have those names that I called out, please raise your right hand.
Todos los que llamen su nombre, levanten su mano derecha.
Do each of you sort of tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I'm going to start with Juan Carlos de Hoyos. If you can unmute yourself and respond, please.
Was he the Spanish speaker?
Speak English, please. Yes. English.
Yes. Mr. de Hoyos, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Ms. Ofelia Bautista. I need you to unmute yourself now. Again, I need you all to be very familiar with muting and unmuting yourself. Otherwise, we'll be here all afternoon. So just learn how to mute and unmute yourself.
Judge, may I address her directly?
Yes.
Ms. Bautista, if you tap your screen, you should see a red microphone. Go ahead and tap that. There you go.
Okay, I just did.
Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have Jonathan Patricio Castillo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Heraclio Benito Valdez Garcia.
Yes.
Thank you. Miriam Guadalupe Tapia Cedillo.
Pero el testimonio que va a haber esta tarde va a ser la verdad y solamente la verdad.
Sí.
Yes.
Jacqueline Valdivia.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All of y'all may lower your hands. We're here in CR 22-02-524H, State of Texas versus Juan Carlos de Hoyos. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, sir. Yes,
De Hoyos, you're here before the court, charged with the offense of criminal mischief, a Class B misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor. In CR 21-06-049H, State of Texas versus Ofelia Bautista. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bautista, you're here before the court, again, charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated with a BAC greater than 0.15. That is a Class A misdemeanor. And in just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor.
Okay, sir.
In CR 19-01-509H, CR 21-03-757H, CR 21-03-758H, CR 21-01-964H, State of Texas versus Jonathan Patricio Castillo. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Castillo, you're here in CR 19-01-509H on a possession of marijuana charge. The state is alleging in this case that you are before the court on a motion to revoke. The state is alleging that you violated certain conditions of your probation. Are you that same individual, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had enough time to review the motion to revoke with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you ready to proceed here today on that motion to revoke?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're also here on a driving while intoxicated charge. That is a Class B misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for that Class B misdemeanor. You're also here on a resisting arrest, search or transport, a Class A misdemeanor. And in just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor. In CR 19-09-876H, Heraclio Benito Valdez Garcia. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, you're here before the court, charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense, that is a Class A misdemeanor. And in a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor. In CR 21, I believe it's 06445H, State of Texas versus Miriam Guadalupe Tapia Cedillo. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Cedillo, you're here before the court, charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense, that is a Class A misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor.
Yes.
Finally, in CR 21-04-787H, State of Texas versus Jacqueline Valdivia. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're here before the court, charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. Let me advise everyone who is charged with a Class B misdemeanor that the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor is up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. For those of you charged with Class A misdemeanors, that carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do each of you understand the range of punishment you could receive for your Class A or your Class B? I'll start with Juan Carlos de Hoyos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mrs. Ofelia Bautista.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Jonathan Castillo, do you understand the range of punishment for your DWI Class B?
Yes, Your Honor.
How about the resisting arrest Class A?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Heraclio Benito Valdez Garcia, do you understand the range of punishment for your Class A?
Yes.
Thank you. Miriam Cedillo, do you understand the range of punishment for your Class A?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Jacqueline Valdivia, do you understand the range of punishment for your Class B?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All of you have the right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury, but you can waive one or both of those rights by signing a document with this court. At this time, the court's going to ask each of you, did you have an opportunity to review a document with your attorney before you signed it? I'll start with Juan Carlos de Hoyos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ofelia Bautista.
Yes, Your Honor.
Jonathan Castillo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Heraclio Garcia.
Yes.
Miriam Cedillo.
Me Cedillo, ¿entiende inglés?
Sí.
Okay, so puede contestar en inglés.
That's fine. Yes.
Okay.
Did you understand the question, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. And Jacqueline Valdivia.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did each of you understand that when you signed that document, you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Did you understand that, Mr. De Hoyos?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Castillo,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia,
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Cedillo,
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Valdivia.
Yes, sir.
At this time, I must ask each of you, has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? Mr. Juan Carlos de Hoyos,
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Ofelia Bautista,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Jonathan Castillo,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Heraclio Garcia,
No.
Ms. Miriam Cedillo,
No.
and Ms. Jacqueline Valdivia.
No.
Counsel, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent, able to assist you in their own defense? I'll start with Ms. Dietz for Mr. Juan Carlos de Hoyos.
Mr. De Hoyos is competent, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Vasquez for your client,
As to Ms. Bautista, Judge.
Mr. Alvarez for your client,
Same announcer on behalf of Mr. Castillo.
Mr. Maldonado for your client,
Mr. Garcia is competent, Your Honor.
Mr. Halili for your client,
Ms. Cedillo is competent and able to assist, Your Honor.
all right, and Mr. Galvan for your client.
Ms. Valdivia is competent, Your Honor.
Court's going to go ahead and make a finding that all the defendants before the court, they're all mentally competent, they're all able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Do you each understand that if the punishment that I assess, if that punishment does not exceed what is recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Do you understand that, Mr. De Hoyos?
I signed yours and I just want to review the documents.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
Mr. Diaz said we could get 2 waivers because I'm not working. I'm receiving this bid to SSI.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, I believe he's asking, or he's letting the court know what we'll be asking for consideration on. If the court could repeat the question.
Okay. Mr. De Hoyos, do you understand that if the punishment that I assess against you, if that punishment does not exceed what is recommended by the state, that you will need to come and ask for my permission before you file an appeal? Do you understand that?
I'm not filing any appeals. I just signed the papers.
No, I understand that. But if you choose to file one, you have to ask for my permission. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay. How about you, Ms. Bautista?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Castillo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Heraclio Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Cedillo?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Valdivia?
Yes, I understand.
Thank you. Now, Mr. De Hoyos, do you further understand that the court does not have to accept the recommendation of the state? All right, even though you and Ms. Dietz have entered into an agreement with the state of Texas, the court does not have to accept it. Do you understand that, Mr. De Hoyos?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Bautista, do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Castillo, do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Cedillo, do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Valdivia, do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
Thank you. At this time, I must ask all of you, are you U.S. citizens? I'll start with Mr. Juan Carlos de Hoyos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bautista, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Jonathan Castillo, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Heraclio Benito Garcia, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Miriam Guadalupe Tapia Cedillo, are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
Okay. How about Jacqueline Valdivia?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Miriam Guadalupe Tapia Cedillo, because you're not a U.S. citizen, your plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under U.S. federal law. Do you understand those immigration consequences, Ms. Cedillo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing and understanding those consequences, do you still wish to go forward with your plea here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let's go to Mr. Jonathan Castillo. Mr. Castillo, on your motion to revoke CR 19-01-509H, the state is alleging in that motion to revoke that you violated certain conditions of your probation. Have you had enough time to review that motion to revoke with your attorney, Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And at this time, are you asking that the motion to revoke be read aloud to you, or do I hear a waiver? And Mr. Alvarez, on behalf of your client, you may choose to waive that. Mr. Alvarez, can you hear me? Mr. Alvarez, I was asking your client if on the motion to revoke, if you're asking that the allegations on the motion to revoke be read aloud.
We waive the reading of any complaint or information and or motions to revoke.
All right, perfect. Mr. Castillo, to violating the conditions of probation that are set forth in that motion to revoke, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
All right. And to the driving while intoxicated Class B misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
To the offense of resisting arrest, search or transport, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you. Let me go back to Mr. De Hoyos. To the criminal mischief, Class B misdemeanor, Mr. De Hoyos, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right. Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, sir?
No. It's clean. Here's a plea. I got a review in my years.
Listen to the question. All right. You're pleading guilty to criminal mischief. Is that correct? Is that your desire to plead guilty?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? Is anyone forcing you to plead guilty?
No. You just asked me. I plead guilty, yes.
So no one is forcing you. Ms. Dietz is not forcing you. Nobody there at the sheriff's office is forcing you. Is that true? No one's forcing you right now?
That's true. I plead guilty, but I'm trying to they order from 8 to 6, I don't know, probation, and I signed for application, and that's not gonna work right there. I plead guilty for charges for that, for mischief, and I'm willing to pay the fine, and that's it.
Okay, but no one's forcing you to plead guilty, correct?
Unfortunately, they're asking me to plead guilty. I plead guilty. I'm not trying to take any further into court or anything. Just I will just see that. I'm sorry for that. Just that's it. I plead guilty. Yes.
Okay, Ms. Bautista, to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a BAC greater than 0.15, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead? Ms. Bautista, how do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated?
Honor.
Sorry?
I'm having a little bit of issues with the video. I plead guilty, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Voluntarily, yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Castillo, to the offense that you already pled guilty on the motion to revoke, you pled true. Did you plead true freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. To the offense of driving while intoxicated, as well as resisting arrest, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Heraclio Benito Valdez Garcia, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Miriam Guadalupe Tapia Cedillo to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a second offense, Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Miss Jacqueline Valdivia to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right. Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Thank you. The court's going to go ahead and make a finding that all the defendants have entered their pleas of guilty freely and voluntarily, and I'll call for state's evidence at this time.
The offers plea documents and offense report to State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures as State's Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessment as State's Exhibit 4, and the PTD packet as State's Exhibit 5. State would also request defense counsel stipulates the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. And the motions to revoke, state offers a waiver of rights, consent stipulation of evidence, a plea of true. The state's motion to revoke as State's Exhibit 1. State also requests defendant stipulate that he or she is the same defendant who was previously placed on probation.
I'll start with Miss Dietz for your client.
No objection, Your Honor. So agreed and stipulated as to Mr. De Hoyos.
Ms. Vasquez for your client.
Same announcement as to Ms. Bautista.
Mr. Alvarez for your client.
No objection, Your Honor, to the evidence. We showed we stipulate to the venue jurisdiction of the solemn court, and he's also one and the same as previously placed on probation on the cases that are a revocation or adjudication before the solemn court.
All right. Mr. Maldonado for your client.
No objections, Your Honor, and agree to stipulations.
Mr. Halili for your client.
Same announcement as Mr. Cedillo.
Mr. Galvan for your client.
No objection, so agreed to stipulated, Your Honor.
There being no objection, state's exhibits are all hereby admitted. In CR 22-02524H, State Detective versus Juan Carlos de Hoyos, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
It recommends a $150 fine, court costs, 90 days to Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 6 months, an anger management course, 20 community service hours, and restitution currently open to Pizza Hut.
Need a restitution hearing date? All right, let's do April 14th for the restitution hearing. All right.
You're
You said it was a $150 fine, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, I'll give him 90 days in which to pay the fine, 90 days in which to pay the court costs. Questions or requests, Ms. Dietz?
No, Your Honor, we were just going to be asking for some consideration on that fine and court costs, mainly because Mr. De Hoyos is not currently working. He has also been in jail since the 11th of this month, Judge.
Okay, so he's been in custody for about 13 days?
Yes, Judge.
Let me waive the fine. I will give him 90 days in which to pay the court cost. We do need a phone number for him.
90 days.
Ms. Dietz, do you happen to have a phone number for him?
I do have one, Judge. I don't have it right now, but I can send that information to Victoria.
Perfect.
Judge, I did get it from the plea documents. I don't know if it's the same one.
It's the same phone number.
Okay, perfect. So someone from our intake department will contact him in about 5 business days.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this is Victoria Guerra. I'm sorry about my delay. I've been out of pocket, unable to connect. I am aware that the state has chosen to dismiss one of them being a revocation, and 2 of them being new cases. One is a possession, and the other one I think is evading or something like that. I can't remember.
This is on another case. Ms. Guerra, he's doing another case right now.
Okay, those are dismissed? Okay. Ms. Guerra, I believe that all those have been dismissed, in case that answers your question. All right, I'm having some difficulty with getting her audio, and then I have Ms. Vasquez who's trying to log on as well. I think I lost her. Okay, let me go back to Ofelia Bautista. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged.
Your Honor, if I may, what time was that restitution hearing going to be set for?
9:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, and may we be excused on the Hoyos case?
Yes, you're excused under the Hoyos case.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, with Ofelia Bautista, it is a judgment of the court that she's guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
State recommends a $250 fine, court costs, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 10 months. Mobile alcohol monitoring device, alcohol course, 90 days Texas driver license suspension, and 40 community service hours.
Questions or requests, Ms. Vasquez?
Yes, Your Honor, we do have a couple of items from the court. We are asking for consideration, Your Honor, in terms of the supervisory fee. My client is on a fixed income and is already struggling to pay the $85 for the device. If we were asking if the court could maybe help her out with the supervisory fees while she's still on that device.
Here's what I'll do. Instead of the supervisory fee, I'll waive the fine and court costs. That'll about even itself out. I'll also waive her community service hours.
Very well, Your Honor.
The 90-day Texas driver's license suspension, I'm going to run that CC with the administrative suspension.
Yes, Judge. And just finally, we are requesting that she be allowed to leave the county. She does have a couple of trips out of state already planned. She wants to be in compliance with the terms of her probation.
Does she have those dates?
Yes, it's the first week of June, Your Honor. She can give you the exact dates.
She's never been in trouble before?
I do believe there might have been some priors, Judge, but from the 90s, some old rules.
Okay. Victoria, is this one of those cases where I should just waive condition? Do you recommend I waive condition number 7, let her leave at all times, or just for those vacation times?
Is it for employment?
No, for vacation.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yes, her grandchild is graduating from high school, Judge. She just is asking to leave the state for a few days.
Yeah, I have no problem granting her that request. I just don't know if it would be more appropriate just to grant her on that condition for that time. And then if she ever needs to go, she can ask for permission. Or do I waive condition number 7, allowing her to leave the county altogether? Because it's not for employment purposes.
You can ask for permission, Judge.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. Just give us those dates, Ms. Vasquez, and Victoria will grant her that permission for those. As long as she's in compliance, we're good to go.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right. We do need a phone number for her.
Ms. Bautista, if you can provide the court your phone number.
I think she's frozen. Do you happen to have her phone number or her information?
Right here. It's 956-292-6516.
Thank you. Just let her know that our intake department will call in about 5 business days.
Yes, I will go ahead and let her know.
All right, Ms. Bautista, stay in contact with Ms. Vasquez, but you're excused, okay? All right.
Thank you. May I be excused as well?
Yes, both you and Ms. Bautista are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, let's move to CR 19-01-509H. State of Texas versus Jonathan Patricio Castillo. It is a judgment and finding of the court that Mr. Castillo has violated the conditions of his probation. Probation is hereby revoked and set aside. What is the recommendation on this case?
Your Honor, the state recommends a $100 fine, court cost 1 day Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 1 day.
In this case, it'll be a 0 fine, 0 court cost, 1 day credit for 1 day time served. In CR 21-03-757H, as well as CR 21-03-758H, is the judgment of the court that he is guilty as charged. What is the recommendation on both of those cases?
In CR 21-03757-H, the state recommends a $100 fine, court cost 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 2 years, a mobile alcohol monitoring device, alcohol course, 90 days Texas driver license suspension, and 20 community service hours. In CR 21-03758-H, state recommends a $100 fine, court cost 1 year Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 2 years, a life skills program, and 20 community service hours. And as a part of this plea agreement, CR 21-01964-H, the state will move to dismiss.
All right, questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Alvarez?
Your Honor, he's currently on probation out of the 332nd. They're going to dismiss the revocation. The part of the deal is that he had to plea on these offenses, and I believe the state's going to be dismissing the weapon charge. So we're just asking to run concurrent with the 332nd, and I'm not sure the court can give me consideration since he's already doing some community service hours in the 330 out of the 332nd. So any consideration, Judge?
All right, I'll waive the CSR hours. I'm going to give him 90 days in which to pay the fine and court cost. The rest of the recommendation I will follow. The 90-day Texas driver's license suspension will run concurrent with the administrative suspension.
Oh, and I was also retained on this particular case, Judge.
All right. All right, we do need a phone number for him, so if he can provide us with that phone number.
Yes, Your Honor. It's 956-648-3045.
Thank you. You will get a call from our intake department in about 5 business days.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is there an announcement regarding the weapon charge? That was the,
Yeah, that one was dismissed. The announcement was that's been dismissed. The court going to go ahead and accept that dismissal.
Your Honor, and my understanding, he had to give up that weapon. That was part of the deal. Is the court willing to allow the weapon be released to me for as part? I was retained on this case, Judge.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Just submit an order before it's destroyed. You have to beat me.
Yes, I will get it to you. I will get you one today.
Yeah, you have to beat the sheriff before they destroy it. So get it to me.
I will get it to you today, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. All right.
May I be excused?
Yes, you're excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. In CR 19-09876H, Heraclio Benito Valdez Garcia, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty of charge. What is the recommendation?
It recommends a $300 fine, court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 14 months, a mobile alcohol monitoring device, repeat offender program, 180 days Texas driver license suspension, 40 community service hours, and 3 days Hidalgo County Jail by statute.
Questions or requests?
Yes, Judge. We're asking the court to consider a term of probation substantially less than that. We'd like to mention to the court, first of all, that this arrest occurred back in June of 2019. My client had the alcohol monitor up till November, pretty much the last day of November 2020. That was, I would say, like 18 months. So for that reason, I don't believe there was any violations during this time period. And in this case, there was a breath test of a 0.11. The circumstances of my client's arrest occurred after there was a dispute with his girlfriend, and he left her residence, or left that residence, so there wouldn't be any issues, and he got stopped by Edinburgh PD for that particular reason. There was no assault charges, I believe, that went forward in this case. So we're asking the court to consider a term of probation around 6 months, that the court waive the community service hours. Excuse me. That
Is he gainfully employed? Is he working?
He is self-employed. He owns tractor trailers, and that was another issue I was going to bring to the court. My client would like permission also to leave the county because since he owns the tractor trailers and is a mechanic, sometimes these trailers break down the road in the middle of the night. It's not uncommon for him to have to travel in the middle of the night to go repair one of his units, either the tractor or the trailer. Also, Judge, we would ask also for the court to consider. I'm not sure if the alcohol classes are the same thing as the repeat offender classes, but that the court order one of them and not both of them. I saw a proposed judgment, and I believe it included both, if I saw that correctly. And lastly, Judge, that the suspension as far as his driver's license, that it be run concurrent with the administrative suspension that occurred already.
When was the first DWI? This is his second. When was the first? How long ago?
Judge?
In 2015?
2015, Your Honor.
2015, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Let's start off with the question of the repeat offender and the alcohol classes. Victoria, are they one and the same? Do they cover the same material?
My understanding is they're different, Judge. One is a 12-hour and the other one, I believe it's 30 hours.
That's correct.
I'm not sure, Judge, if both are needed by statute, but if they're not, we would only request that the ones that are necessary by statute be ordered.
Okay, let's start off because I have a lot of information. You've made requests on almost all issues. This is obviously somewhat of a plea to the court because I think you're trying to modify most of the things.
It is a plea to the court, Judge.
Okay, we'll start off with the waiver of condition number 7 for work purposes. That'll be granted. His CSR, because he is gainfully employed, is granted, waived. I am going to run concurrent the administrative suspension. I'm going to run the 180-day Texas driver license suspension concurrent with the administrative suspension. I am going to go ahead and give him 90 days in which to pay the fine, 90 days in which to pay the court costs. Mr. Garcia, the court costs would have been due today, but I'll give you 90 days in which to pay that. Now, typically speaking, with respect to the DWIs, when I'm giving consideration like this, typically speaking, I will do 6 months on the first, and I'll do 9 months on the second. So in this case, I'll reduce it from 14 months down to 9 months. And we'll do just a repeat offender program. So the anger management, the alcohol classes will be waived, just repeat offender. Now, we do need to have 3 days in the Hidalgo County Jail. That is mandatory. I don't have a problem with him doing them on weekends, so he can pick his weekends, but we do need to put something in the judgment, Santos. So if he can maybe pick a weekend and then let us know right now, maybe we can do that a month down the road. I have no problem, but the judgment does have to reflect the days so that when he goes to book in at the county, they'll know exactly what days to go in. It doesn't have to be on the weekends, but if he wants it on the weekends, that's understandable.
Okay. Can we decide those weekends? So is the court proposing that we set a weekend today and can that weekend change later on, Judge, if it's necessary?
Yeah, the commitment order has to reflect the date, so it can't change from the commitment from the date.
Okay.
Otherwise, they won't accept him, and then he's not in compliance, and it just becomes a mess.
Can you give us a moment on that, Judge?
Sure, no problem.
The alcohol monitor, is the court requesting that or ordering that?
Yes, that's mandatory since it's the second.
Okay. Could we ask for it to be for the half of the time period of the 9 months?
Yes. So it'll be 4.5.
This is a calendar.
Why don't we do this? Why don't I get a phone number from him so that we can move on, and then I'll buy you a couple of minutes while you all decide. And then, so let me just go ahead and get a phone number from him. And then the only thing that'll be pending is the date that you want me to put in the commitment order that's going to be sent over to the sheriff, and that'll take care of the rest of it. So, Mr. Garcia, can I have a phone number?
His number is 956-999-3727.
Okay. I guess probation will be in contact with him within the next 5 business days, Victoria?
Yes, sorry, Judge.
Okay. Any other questions or requests? I think I covered most of them, if not everything, Santos, except we just need that date.
Right, Judge. I think we covered all the requests. We appreciate the court's consideration.
All right. Hang tight, place yourself on mute, and we'll come back at the end and we'll try to get that date from you. All right, let's move on to CR 21-06445H, State of Texas versus Miriam Guadalupe Tapia Cedillo. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation on this case?
State recommends a $250 fine, court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 18 months, a mobile alcohol monitoring device, repeat offender program, 180 days Texas driver license suspension, 40 community service hours, and 3 days Hidalgo County Jail by statute. In addition, Your Honor, CR 21-06446-H, as a result of this plea agreement, the state will move to dismiss.
All right, questions or requests?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I heard 18 months probation. However, the plea agreement was for 16 months. And separate to that, Your Honor, we'd be asking for consideration as to the fine, court costs, and supervisory fee. Although Ms. Cedillo is employed, she earns a modest income and is a single mother of 3 minor children. We'd be asking for the Texas driver license suspension to run concurrent with the administrative suspension. And as to the post-judgment jail term, Your Honor, she'd be able to surrender the weekend of April 8th, 9th, and 10th.
All right, we will include that in the order. I'm going to waive the CSR hours. I'm going to run this Texas driver's license suspension concurrent with the administrative suspension. When was the last DWI? You have any information? In 2017?
There's one in 2017, Your Honor.
All right. And no other priors besides that?
A failed to ID and a theft from 2013. In addition, Your Honor, Mr. Jalili is correct. The judgment is incorrect. The judgment states 18 months. However, the recommendation agreed on by email was 16 months. He is correct in that.
Okay. In an effort, I mean, I'm all about, you know, trying to keep these, be consistent, obviously, and just earlier, you know, I gave consideration to Mr. Maldonado and gave him 9 months. In this case, I'll do the same thing. So it'll be a $250 fine, court cost. The court costs, I'll give her 90 days to pay that. It'll be 1 year suspended over 9 months, repeat offender program. I waived the CSR. The 3 days, we already have the dates for when she will surrender herself. And the 180-day Texas driver's license suspension will run concurrent with the administrative suspension. The mobile will be for half the time, yes. All right, that'll be the recommendation. That'll be the order. I do need a phone number.
Phone number, Your Honor, would be 956-975-8589.
Thank you. Our intake department will call her in about 5 business days.
That concludes my business before the honorable court, Your Honor. May myself and my client be excused.
Both of y'all are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is CR 21-04787H, State of Texas versus Jacqueline Valdivia. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. Ms. Valdivia is actually being placed on the pretrial diversion program. Ms. Valdivia, the pretrial diversion program is a contract that you're entering into with the state of Texas, whereby you are agreeing to comply with certain conditions of the probation department, and in exchange, the state is agreeing to dismiss the charges against you. Do you understand the nature of the pretrial diversion program?
Yes, I do.
All right. Is there anything that the court needs to consider, Mr. Galvan, before placing her on the pretrial diversion program?
No, Your Honor. Ms. Valdivia can comply with the conditions set out by the program.
All right. I am going to give it a 1-year PTD status of March 21st. That's March 21st, 2023 at 9:30. And we do need a phone number from her.
Jacqueline, your phone number?
Oh, sorry. 956-212-2351.
Thank you. Our intake department will contact you in about 5 business days.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further. May we be excused?
Excused. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you. All right, let me go back to see if Santos is ready to give us some dates or a weekend or anything of that sort. If not, I have Richard, what do you have? You're here in person?
It's a jail case plea, Your Honor.
Okay, but the problem, Richard, is I have somewhere to be. And that's why I was only going to take one set of pleas. I don't know if you're here on a plea as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just have to get this done before April the 4th. That's her felony plea.
Okay, can we do it Tuesday?
Fine with me.
Okay, perfect. Let's do Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Tuesday is the 3/29 at 2 o'clock. So Hillary Aguilar is reset for 3/29 at 2.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. In-house? Oh, got you. What number is that? Edwin Orozco? Okay, so Edwin Orozco is in custody, Sheriff. Mr. Canche is here. You have not had a chance to sign him up, right? Okay, he is housed in Brooks, Sheriff. So I need him to remain there. Mr. Canche, when can you make it over there? He is going to be leaving here and going straight to the sheriff's office to sign Mr. Orozco up. Sheriff, can you make it that he at least remain there for the next 3 hours so that Mr. Canche can make it over there to sign him up?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. All right. So then I'm going to set him up for a plea on Tuesday. Okay? Unless.
Tomorrow we have DWI arraignments, or you'd want it for Tuesday.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, when I'm afraid of it, they're not gonna listen.
What if I set him up in person tomorrow here and have them bring him over and you just show up here?
Well, then that's fine. You can do it tomorrow morning.
Okay, Sheriff, sorry. This is what I'm gonna do. To try to save everybody a little bit of hassle and just so that Mr. Canche, tomorrow morning, I have DWI arraignments. I have DWI arraignments tomorrow. I'm gonna bring Mr. Edwin Orozco. He's gonna be reset for tomorrow morning in person.
Carry on.
Okay, so then Mr. Edwin Orozco will be brought in person. Mr. Canche, you'll show up here, you'll sign him up here, we'll take care of the plea here. Okay, perfect. That takes care of that. That guarantees us that he doesn't go anywhere. All right, we'll bring him here tomorrow. Yes. Okay, Santos, are you there?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Santos, any dates? Were you able to come up with a date?
Let me ask my client. I know he was on the phone with his office to communicate dates that would be available, or he wouldn't have issues with trailers out, Judge. Give me a moment.
All right, and I'll go back to the sheriff just to make sure that if there's any dates or anybody who's remaining, I can give you those so that you can move on to another pod.
Yes, Your Honor. We have Volgaba Jaime, Your Honor.
Jaime?
Yes, sir.
August 23rd.
We also have Rios Arnulfo, Your Honor.
Yes, Tuesday. That is Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day. We also have Perez Luis, Your Honor.
Perez? Luis
Yes,
Perez?
Your Honor.
March 31st
March 31st.
at 2 o'clock.
And we also have Valadez Jose.
Those cases have been dismissed.
Okay. Oscar Ramon, Your Honor.
Oscar, you said?
Vasquez Ramon.
April 26th.
Okay. And Vela Jesus, Your Honor.
Dismissal was signed yesterday.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. That's all we have, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, that takes care of our docket. Of course, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off.